Hello, it's Bailey and welcome back to my channel. Today it is time for my quarter 2 stats. I again have had a really good quarter. There's some things you'll see here that I did better than the first quarter and some that I did worse. But I think the balance is working out okay so far. I am just gonna go ahead and scoot over so that I can insert my graphs. There's my nice pregnant belly. Okay, I did already make my graphs, so if I'm looking down at all, I'm looking at my phone as I explain the graphs. But in this quarter, I read 44 books. The way that this graph is set up is that the center column is this quarter, the darker gray is my average for last year, and the lighter gray was quarter 1. So as you can see, this is higher. I believe I read 39 books in quarter 1, which puts my total for the year at like 83, and my goal is 100, so surpassing that. But you will also see that while I read more books, I read less pages. So this quarter I read 8,669 pages, which last quarter I read 8,794 pages. So like just over 100 pages more, which is kind of silly to me that it's so close. I had a physical reading time of 116 hours. Last quarter that was 118, so down a little bit there again. And my average pages per hour is so close. This quarter I was 74.7 and last quarter I was 74.5. I do think it is interesting to note that I am gradually getting faster because these are both also faster than my last year's average, so slowly but surely becoming a faster reader maybe. And then I did have kind of a lot of audiobook hours this quarter, mostly because of Wonderthon still, but I had 85 audiobook hours. Last quarter I only had 67. I would say that 67 is more normal for me than this 85. Now to get into what these books actually were and like the breakdown of categories and such, 27 of these books were physical books, 8 audiobooks, 8 ebooks, and 1 ARC. I was not on my ARC game. This translates fairly similarly to where I got these books from. 23 of these books I owned, 10 I acquired, 10 were from the library, and 1 again was an ARC. The age range of these books, 28 were adult books, 14 were children's. I only had 1 young adult book and I had 1 new adult book. For publication year, this has changed quite a bit because the Magic Tree Houses we were reading during this quarter were more recently published, so my before 2010 is smaller and my more recent categories are a little larger. I had 8 published before 2010, 16 published between 2010 and 2019, another 16 from 2020 to 2022, and then 4 were 2023 releases. I read from 9 genres this quarter. Nothing here is surprising to me. I had 12 romances, 11 adventure, 6 nonfiction, 4 fantasy, 4 contemporary, 3 mystery, 2 historicals, 1 sci-fi, and 1 mythology. I was wondering if mythology should just be like in with another category. I kept it separate for now. And then to get to my ratings, and then I will kind of reflect on where I'm at with my goals for the year. But for my ratings, I had only 1 DNF and no 1 stars, which is amazing. I had 12 2 stars, 12 3 stars, 14 4 stars, and 5 5 stars, making my average for this quarter a 3.5, which my average for last quarter was a 3.51. So we're sticking at about 3.5 for the year. I did just quickly want to mention, because one of my goals for the year was for my average page length to be over 350. I am excluding the Magic Tree House books from this average. I exclude the Magic Tree House books also from a lot of my other categories, just because we're reading so many of them and they are not diverse. I just kind of don't want them to be affecting my stats that much, even though I should be reading better things anyway. I don't include them in a lot of my stats, but I didn't include it in my quarter 1 stats that my average page length for quarter 1 was 369.91 pages, but my quarter 2 was worse, with my average page length being only 314.84 pages. So that for the year puts me just under my goal of 350. For the year I would be at 342.38 pages. Then to get into some of my category goals that I had set for the year, I have a goal for at least 15% of my books to be rereads, and I only did 4.5% this quarter, so that was not good at all. I like to stay under 20% of my books being audiobooks. This quarter I was at 18.2%, so I hit that. I have a goal for 10% of my reads to be nonfiction, and this quarter I was at 13.6%, so hit that. I have a goal to read 13% fantasy books, and this quarter I was at 9.1%, so I was off on that. I also have a goal to read 15% new releases, so published in 2023, and I was also at 9.1% on that. As I've said, I anticipate this getting higher as the year goes on, and I'm getting more new releases, so I'm hoping in the second half of the year that will still kind of average out. I have a goal for at least 30% of my books to have some sort of LGBTQIA+ representation. This quarter I did really bad. Only 15.2% of my reads had that. I have a goal for at least 20% of my books to be by authors of color, and this quarter I had 24.2%, so I hit that goal. And I had a goal for 75% of my reads to be books that I owned, and I was at exactly 75%, so just barely hit that. The only other goal that I was like off a little on was in terms of the goals I set for making progress in series. Technically, I at this point in the year should have finished 4.5 series, and I'm at 4, so you could say that I should have finished one more series by now, and I plan on doing so in July, so I'm close to being caught up there. I am falling a little bit behind, but also another round of Squash It series should be happening in this coming quarter, so hopefully that helps me a little as well. So that's all I have. I feel like these are kind of boring when I come forward and say like I'm doing really good, but it still feels good. Again, I have no idea what the second half of the year could look like. I would like to work on some of these percentages that aren't quite where I want them, but I'm very in reach of all of my goals, so I'm ready to step forward into quarter 3, and hopefully I will still have good news at the end of quarter 3. But thank you so much for spending some time with me today, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.